Let's talk about this one. It's our second case study. It's a Russellville water and sewer system. It provides sewage treatment and pollution control services for nearly 30,000 residents in Russellville, Arkansas. It's operated by City Corporation. The Russellville system relied on PLCs for automatic control of various pieces of equipment, but the PLCs were aging, and when one of them failed, they needed to find a replacement and do something quickly. They wanted a replacement that was modern and future-proof. They liked the performance, scalability, and built-in cybersecurity protection of the bedrock control system, and they chose Ignition for their HMI SCADA system. So they completed their Ignition upgrade in mid-2015 and their bedrock upgrade in late 2015. Dee, you really are the expert on this project, you and your team, so I'll let you explain details and where it went. Over to you, Dee.
Thank you, Don. So at Russellville, this is another fairly large Ignition system that encompasses the water treatment plant, all the water distribution system around the city, sewer treatment, and sewer collection system. So it was a great project. It was one of the smoothest startups I've seen on a project, just using Ignition there. And what we're able to do is they had a controller that failed back in late 2015 that we were able to suggest to them. We'd already been having conversations with them about bedrock controllers, but when this controller failed, we used that as an opportunity to be able to put a new bedrock controller on their digester blowers. It's running clarifiers, sludge pumps, and so it's been operating reliably ever since. One of the neat things I loved about working with Russellville is they're also somewhat innovative, and once they saw how nice the Ignition software is, the reliability of it, they asked us about another non-SCADA type of use for Ignition. This would be a mobile system process for tracking and reporting sanitary sewer overflows, and now allowing their field crews to be able to operate or enter some of that data from remote devices. So that led us to a project here that we're able to develop for them, tracking sanitary sewer overflows out in the field. These are manhole overflows. They're required to be reported by the Department of Environmental Quality. And you can imagine when you're having sewer overflows, that's because we're in a large rain event and you've got guys out in trucks running around with clipboards and paper trying to keep track of all that stuff. And so that's partly what we're trying to eliminate here, and be able to bring that data in electronically and manage these reports. The administrative person who was responsible for collecting all that paper before, that they would tell you this would take a couple hours at least at a minimum to gather this data, aggregate it, and get it ready to turn in. And so it's a great little project that we're able to use Ignition in this new way. I also specifically went back afterwards and just asked them, like, what are some of the staff, these folks aren't used to using Ignition and some of the mobile smartphones and tablets. What are they saying about that? And just a couple of key comments that I thought were great, that the field guys love it, even some of the guys that haven't used computers before. They also said what used to take at least an hour or more can now be submitted in about 5 minutes. And I know that our flow estimates are more accurate now. So I think those are good testaments to being able to use a very versatile tool like Ignition to be able to deliver these kind of solutions for folks. Now, when the controller that I mentioned had failed, I feel like we talk about cybersecurity a lot, but one of the things we don't always get enough time to talk about is just the basics of this controller, that it is so elegant and easy to use. It makes it a really nice platform for any size project, small, medium, or large. A couple of features that we particularly think are interesting to us for folks that have to install and maintain these: the backplane having an electromagnetic system instead of pins that corrode and break, so there's reliability issues that are enhanced because of that. The galvanic isolation between channels, so we don't have as many field devices to have to install in these panels. It's very fast. It's got a military-grade real-time operating system that's also very easy to use. And again, it's scalable. It can be used in small or large applications. So those are just a couple of things. We can't touch on them all here today, but it's important to know that that's an extremely elegant solution, and be happy to tell you more about that as we move through this process. So by upgrading to Ignition and Bedrock, Russellville and City Corporation have realized some cost savings for them. Cost was a big factor in choosing Ignition. Their previous software was charged them based on the number of tags, number of clients, all those traditional things that you see with legacy HMI type systems. So they were a growing city and a growing utility, and not having to pay more to upgrade to a higher number of tags was a big deal for them, and being able to expand to that. So the switchover process, we kept them up and running during the entire process, and able to use the Bedrock controllers in their applications to also consider costs of what their future systems may look like. A couple things here in their future planning, just the fact that it's been running without fail since installation of, that's one of our first Bedrock units, was late fall of 2015, so a couple of years now, and have been in a process with City Corporation to talk about how to begin to do a phased approach to migrate all of their controllers to a Bedrock platform. They're a utility that is concerned about cybersecurity and are very aware of that as part of their process, and want to make good cost-effective solutions, decisions on those solutions that will help move them into the future. So today we've talked about two different case studies from two different clients of ours, and I just want to make a couple of closing statements about my part on the affordable technology that's available today. Regarding Ignition, I've never seen it beaten in a price comparison, especially if you consider the ongoing annual support cost and do a 5-year or a 10-year life cycle cost of that. I'm pretty confident it's going to win hands down. It has for us every time now. It's a very feature-rich application, and so people ask, well, what's missing? There's nothing missing. It's all the tools that you need. With regard to the Bedrock controllers, they really do offer best-in-class control systems that are easy to use, they're reliable, with a 5-year warranty, and it give you the added peace of mind with cybersecurity. So that combination, to me, as an engineer and an integrator, being able to offer Ignition and Bedrock to our customers, that we know it's going to work well. They're unprecedented capabilities, especially when you have these two companies as independent companies, but they are working together to deliver secure solutions that actually meet customers' needs, is a very, very powerful combination. So, Don, I believe with that, I will turn it back over to you.
Just a quick summary of this whole discussion from my perspective. Really, Bedrock and Inductive, we're working together, and the goal is really to modernize and protect the water industry through technology that's affordable, that it's open, and that it's highly secure. When you think about municipal water districts, really, this is a critical, essential part of public infrastructure, and frankly, they need and they deserve the best solution that happens to be out there. Granted, I might be slightly biased because I'm with inductive automation, but I think it's based on a lot of the points that Dee made that are really a solid foundation for why this combination is a great solution for water districts. I mean, really, it's been said, the more access to data helps you make well-informed decisions, and improving security at every level provides a whole lot better peace of mind for water districts and also for the citizens too. So when you have better control of your operations, that helps you identify and fix problems faster. It keeps residents satisfied with their service. And I think most importantly, our solutions are actually within the financial reach of any water districts. Even with limited budgets, there's creative ways to migrate, to put a strategy in place, to move to OpEx, things we can work with you on to try and make that as effective as possible.